Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, May 19th. It is 6:24 right now. We have market opening up in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, one last thing. And it looks like we are good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. So you're being sent out. Looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, May 19th. It is 6:26 right now. We have market opening up in about 4 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here real quick. Let's get that going real quick here. All right, going down to the 8 hour. Down to the 4 hour. To the 1 hour. To the 30 minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And back down to the 1 minute here. All right, looks like we're good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today's Monday, May 19th. It is 6:28 right now. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Market's going to open up in about 2 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Looking like the breakout is going to be a sell if anybody's looking to take it for today. Let's take a look at market structure. So market structure over here. So looking at market structure, we're not really much in a range right now, but you have price coming back down. Go on the 30 minute real quick. Just kind of curious to see where the points are at. So we have a, let's see, value low right here at 42,380. I'm gonna like mark that up so I have an idea where it's at. 380. This is probably gonna get updated. Putting controls at 42,390. The value high is at 42,500. So that'd be an idea where these pushes may happen at. All right, guys, so we got market now open right here. So what I'm doing with these with the market profile here is I'm marking this up so that we can kind of see where price is likely to bounce from. So we got price right now currently pushing up. We got price pushing up to this area right here, which is the value high. If price pushes up to this value high, we could possibly look for a possible bounce from this area here back down. And that's exactly what's happening here, right? Huge spike right there. So see where I had my value high marked up? Price came out to the liquidity, grabbed liquidity, and spiked down. I mentioned this last week. So if you weren't on last week's live trading session, I said I was going to mark this up because this is typically where price likes to spike around from. And that's exactly where price spiked out from. Price pushed up and it came right back down super sharply. I'm using these here as like a confluence area. So not exactly for areas to entry, but I'm looking for price to like kind of bounce off these areas and look for opportunities from entry from there, right? So let's take a look at the overall direction. So overall direction right now, 4 hours bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes somewhat neutral, 10 minutes bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 1 minute's bullish. So with that said, I would be looking for price to possibly come back down to maybe, the point of control right here or the value low, and then bounce from here right back up. Ideally, that's kind of where I'd be looking for price to go. There's an MPSV2 that's starting to set up right here. I would be really careful with this because we had this huge candle right here on open. So we had buy signal come up right here, price push up, retracement, and then a push back up right here. The reason why I would also be careful is because this is where the fake out happened from the again, this candle is too big. So there's multiple reasons why I wouldn't take this entry here for MPSV2. If you want to take this here, guys, feel free. I'll mark it up for you guys. The ATR is currently at 2024 right now, so I'll mark this up as a 30-30. But yeah, this is an MPSV2 that is currently running right here. Again, the reason why I feel this is a tricky entry is because for one, the candle's way too big. For two, this initial push up to the upside was way too big. We had the retracement back down and then a continuation back up. So there's just, there's a lot of reasons here to consider this a risky trade. We also talked about this last week, taking entries 40 minutes or 20 minutes right after market open has been considered to be very risky and very tricky with a lot of these entries that have came up in the past couple weeks. So if you guys want to take this entry again, I've marked it up for you guys here. I'm not in this position, so I don't really recommend taking it unless you guys want to take it and you feel comfortable with the risk. I'm trying to point out all the risk here with regard to this entry. It doesn't necessarily mean the entry is not going to hit. It's just, I'm a conservative trader, so that's why I prefer to not take the unnecessary risk. So price is pushing up right here. Yeah, Brock said triple top two, meaning top liquidity up top. Would take it if it was after 45 minutes. Yeah, same here, Brock. So Brock said if it was after 6:45, he would take the entry. He just wouldn't take it here because of the choppiness here on open. I'm going to see if the range becomes established. If we have an established range here, then I will be able to kind of mark up where price is likely to, go from. But I mean, the range here isn't very, and there you go, full TP on the entry if anybody caught that. Like I said, it was just it's a tricky and risky entry because of the time of entry. It just happened super early. And right here also it looked like it could have been establishing some sort of range, but it didn't. There obviously there's no range there. Everything here is kind of pointing in our direction. Like I said, the overall direction for the market for me personally is bullish. So my bias for today is bullish. Reason for that is because the 4 hour here is bullish. You can see price is above the pivots. Trend meters green, pivots are angling to the upside. Same with the 1 hour, same with the 30 minutes, same with the 10, same with the 5, same with the 1. Everything here is bullish, right? So that's why for me personally, I would be looking for price to push up higher to the upside. However, there's a lot of reasons here to be careful because, the obvious. So we got the value high, which pushed up a little higher. It's now at 560. So I'm going to move this up a little higher. The point of control is going to be around this area right here, 490. And the thing is, the market profile is going to adjust every 30 minutes, guys. So every 30 minutes, I'll take a look at the market profile and I'll make some adjustments here at 380. Okay, so now we have a couple little balance areas to be looking out for. So the point of control, which is right here at 390, value high, which is at the 560, value low, which is at the 380 over here. Yeah, Shivam said we'll wait for 15-minute orb range for 45 as well. Solange said A plus FOMO. Barack said taking out the Asia high. Yeah, it's at the Asia high right now. So it's currently at the Asia high. I'd probably look for price to grab liquidity over there or a little higher, maybe right here at the sessions at the London high, because that's where the value high is. So I wouldn't be surprised if price comes up, rejects off this area and comes back down. I have the value high right here marked up at the 42,560. I'm going to clean up these areas of liquidity right here, guys, because these are pretty much done with. And I'll try to update the liquidity as price continues to move along, of course. So liquidity is done with. And there we go. As price rejects off that value high, like I mentioned. So it didn't really grab liquidity yet. It just kind of came up here. It might be doing a liquidity grab around this area of liquidity right here. So this whole area right here could be a bounce area. Ideally, I'd like it to be past the value high. But if the liquidity, if this is the closest liquidity, then that's kind of where price will likely bounce from. The thing is, I'm still looking for buys here. So with this being the case, I mean, we'll kind of see where this ends up going. Let's see, Nick said shift in market movement, not immediately caught in a range today. Yeah, so it doesn't look like we're in a range this week, guys. It looks like market's actually going to be pushing directional, which is great because that's what we need for our NPS V2, right? I mentioned this last week, right? Whenever price is ranging, you just have to be patient and wait for price to actually be moving in a direction. Once it starts to move in a direction, then you can start to, to be a lot more cognizant of like your entries and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just going to be a matter of time here as price kind of moves around. Let me kind of identify where my risk is at right now. So let's see if I'm doing a 10 TP stop loss. Just remember, I got to set up my copier over here to fix things like last week. Set it properly. All right, so we're still getting that rejection around that area. So see how price is pushing up from this area? This is exactly where I was looking for that rejection. And that's exactly where the rejection happened at the value high right here. Like I said, the 30-minute value high is going to adjust basically every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, I'll come back and I'll kind of make some adjustments to it. At this higher level right here. This is the value high from Friday, actually. So the value high from today is already broken through. This is the value high from Friday. And price is still pushing up higher. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to bounce off this area, but this is where I was looking for a possible sweep if there was a sweep here. It doesn't mean there has to be a sweep, but if there was a sweep, that's where the sweep would happen. Let's see, Barack said everything about this market is purely liquidity for real, and where liquidity lives, manipulation is the janitor. Like the analysis so far, I think we should expect a fake out, take out above, and looking at writing it down. Yeah, I could see that too, Barack. So looking at this area here, the thing is I'm looking for bias because my bias here is bullish with regard to the overall direction of trend and direction of price. So I'm looking for bias here. I'm not really looking to cash this on its way down. I'm looking for it to either break above it and continue climbing up higher, or I'm looking for it to fake out from here, come back lower, and then bounce off maybe the point of control, or even lower, bounce off the opening price, or even lower, bounce off the value low over here. The thing is, the market's not ranging today. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff might not even happen, right? Because we're in a directional market right now. So a lot of this stuff, price might not even range back down and hit these lower points. Price might just continue climbing up higher, break and retest, and just kind of climb up to this new area. The problem with this new area is that we don't have much up here, right? We have an open zone right here. So we get a bunch of open space, basically, for price to reach the next levels, which is going to be the New York high from Friday and liquidity sitting up here. So it's all good. We'll just keep following it. I mean, the ATR is kind of like at 27, so it's like normal ATR right now. Uh, Nothing super crazy at the moment. Really just gonna be following this through. There's a couple A plus pluses that came out here, or there's one actually. Yeah, so it's Longy said he caught the A plus plus for 25 points. Nice work, Longy. Christian said for news today, there were people speaking. I suppose you are not marking them up as news price. Yeah, it's just we had the Fed speaking today. There was about 3 or 4 Fed speakers. Let me check. Yeah, so Bostic spoke at 5:30, Jefferson spoke at 5:45, and then Fed Williams spoke at 5:45. There's no need to mark it up because these aren't economic news events. They're just speaking, so we don't know like what the reaction is. The reaction could have happened at any time, not specifically at 5:45. So it looks like it's Fed week this week, guys. We have every Fed speaker speaking this week. Fed Bostic, Jefferson, Williams. Later we have Logan, Kashkari. Tomorrow we have Barkin, Bostic, Collins, Musaliam, Kugler, Hammock, Daly. Pretty much Fed speakers every single day this week. Wednesday we have gas stock change, which happens every Wednesday. Nothing new there. We have Fed Barkin speaking. Crude oil. Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, 4-week average, and continuing jobless claims. We have S&P Global Composite PMI, which is inflation news. Then we have Fed Williams speaking. Then on Friday, we have building permits, new home sales. And it's crazy. I feel like this news just happened, right? I feel like all this news just happened, and we're already going into a new month. We're almost in June. So I feel like May just started, and we're already going into June, guys. So it is pretty crazy right now with regard to time. Time is just flying. So nothing going on right now, guys. We're still waiting for price to kind of provide us an opportunity for entry. Like I said, it looks like we're in a directional market today, which is great. We want price to be in a directional market, right? That's how our strategies work. We trade directional strategies. We just got to be patient, right? There's no areas here for entries to really come up. So for the most part, we are really just being patient with this. All right, so nothing here yet. Price is still sitting around this area of manipulation. So we have the sessions right there. We have the value high. These are areas of manipulation where price is identified to possibly bounce from. So there's not really much going on here. Let's take a look at the. So I'm basically gonna have to wait until about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, the market structure will adjust here for market profile, and then I'll adjust the levels here so that our bounce points could kind of align a little better. Looking over here at the 1 hour, we have bottom rejection. So you can see over here, we have a lot of bottom rejections right here off the value high, point of control, value low, etc. That's indicating that buys here are strong at the moment. We don't really have a rejection right here off the 30 minutes. So price hasn't really came back down yet to continue pushing up higher. The 1 minute over here, you can see the market profile. It's just the price is so bullish right now that there's no rejection points, right? So there's nothing here on the 1 minute, nothing here on the 30 minute, nothing here on the or 1 hour. There's a bottom rejection. Here's the volume profile, nothing there. Price is so far out. Clean chart over here, we don't really have much either. Price is kind of just sitting down the middle. Volatility slightly dropping a little bit. We're currently at 24 ATR. It was at 30 earlier, closer to 30. It's dropped down to 24. So here's SR chart. If you guys remember this, I marked up the support and resistance last Friday. There hasn't really been much movement. Price is actually sitting in this area. It's respecting the support and resistance that I drew up last week. So we'll keep watching it here. There's not really much here to work with, but price is kind of pushing around. But yeah, earlier, so I think who mentioned that? Nick mentioned, I think or Talanji did. He took the A++ setup that was right here. So price pushed up. We had an MPS V2. We had an engulfing candle here and a V1 variation. So this V1 variation was the A++ setup. The only problem is that it was at the sessions over here. So, red flag area. However, it did hit right there for A++. So if you guys did take that, or if you guys were looking to take that, it's considered a red flag, but it's still hit nonetheless. MPS V2 right here, and then A++ that happened right here. Yeah, I noticed that too, Brock. Yeah, no, I noticed that buy signal right there, right? It was a last minute one, came up like right before, but it pushed right through. So we'll look for another, we're looking for another opportunity here for buy, guys. If you guys are just joining in, or if you guys want a little quick update of what we've been looking at. So looking at the overall direction of price, you can see over here on the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30-minute time frame, price is above the pivots, trend meter is pointing to the upside. We got some bullish momentum signals right here. This is indicating that we're in a bullish trend, overall bullish trend on the higher time frame. So longer term distance and longer term direction is bullish. Shorter time frames over here as well, same thing. So 10-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, price is above the pivots. Pivots are angling up. Price is just pretty much rocketing up. It's mooning right now to the upside. You guys can see here. And we've been looking for buys here. There's just no opportunities for entry. If you guys did take the entries, they came up earlier. There's MPS V2 that came up right here and an A++ setup. We've been looking for possible retracement, but there's just no retracement here. We're currently in an open space. So at this right here, we have a lot of opportunity for price to retrace back down a little bit and then come back up. That's what I'm looking for. But if we don't get that, price may climb up higher and come and retest this area, or not retest, but initially test the sessions and the liquidity up here. We got about 12 minutes until 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, there'll be new levels for the value highs, value lows, point of control. I'll be following the 30-minute over here to identify where those balance areas may happen at. So in the next 11 minutes now, we'll have these levels kind of adjust. They adjust every 30 minutes. So once that happens, I'll be able to identify that and mark it up. Yeah, exactly. Shivam said crazy pumps. And Barack said no man's land. We're going to last week's high. Christian said, how's Kai after that disastrous slide ride? He's cool. He's knocked out, right? He was actually right in front of me. He sometimes comes up here on Cody's chair. I don't know where Cody's at right now. This guy probably took himself back to bed. He was up here earlier. He probably realized the market was going to be kind of slow. Stu went back to sleep. But yeah, Kai's he's actually right here. He's next to me. He likes to be on the lower ground. I know that guy went flying down the slide the other day. There's nothing here right now, guys. So we're still looking for opportunities for entry. The good thing is that the ATR is kind of staying around 25. It's not really getting any lower. So we want the ATR to stay closer to 30, right? Because we have a 30 TP stop loss that we have set. So you do want the ATR to stay at least a little bit higher. It's currently 650 right now, so we got some time. There's no need for any rush here. And it's Monday, guys, so just keep it in mind. It's Monday. Got a whole week ahead of us. I know a lot of people are getting antsy because they're coming back from the weekend. You guys want to hop into a trade. I mean, trust me, guys, I want to hop into a trade too. So I'm being patient, just waiting for the opportunity here. All right, I'm just looking for that sell signal, guys. Once I get that sell signal there, I'll start looking for opportunities for entry. But right now, we just don't have that sell signal. Price is still kind of just sitting where it's at. Not too much here. Let's take a look at the market profile again. So the 1 minute hasn't really adjusted yet. It's going to adjust again like around 7:30. So like I said, around 7 o'clock actually. So we got about 9 minutes until 7 o'clock, guys. The market profile will adjust once that happens. I mean, either or, there won't be any opportunity for entry here. We need to have some sort of retracement confirmation and continuation back up. Looks like we might start to get some sort of range here. Solange said A plus 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 plus. Yeah, no, there's I mean there's one that came up right here, Solange. I don't know if you were deciding to take a look at that. So this is the good thing about the A plus plus. You don't necessarily like, like you said, Solange, you're it's a joke, but like seriously, like it could still if we're in a super directional market, you can continue riding the wave. Like right here, this is super directional. So like every confirmation just keeps going higher and higher. I wouldn't take it, but like you said, of course, um, it's an A plus plus. It just continues on. That's the whole point of the A plus plus. That's why I put it together. That whole setup and criteria is meant for continuations. So like if you miss the MPSV2 down here, you have multiple opportunities to enter again later. For me personally, I think price is overextended at this point. This is pushed up quite a bit. You guys can see it's due for retracement. So I wouldn't really chase it, but I mean it can possibly just keep going. This is up about 250 points. The crazy thing is I was reading Bloomberg this morning. So I have a Bloomberg account. I look and I read it every morning before I wait. Like as soon as I wake up, I pull up my emails and I look at Bloomberg. They said that the market was supposed to be bearish today. So it's complete opposite. Price is actually going up. Let's pull up CNBC actually. I haven't even looked at CNBC today. All right, so yeah, this is what I saw on Bloomberg as well. So it says Dow drops 100 points as yields spike on US debt downgrade. So there could be possibility of it maybe even, or let's see, let's go back to Friday's market. So the drop happened on Sunday already, it looks like. This is what happened on Friday evening. So Friday evening price came down, Sunday market open price came down super heavy, and it's coming back up. So it looks like the drop already happened that I was talking about. And now it's correcting back up to where it needs to be. So like this area up here is where price wants to recover to, right? So we got price pushing up. This is the recovery area. So if price reaches this point here, this is basically where price is going to balance out. And that's literally where price is pushing right now. All right, so we got price pushing up higher. Price basically broke this area of liquidity. I'm waiting for 7 o'clock, guys. So right now it's currently 6:55. I'm looking for price to get to this point right here so that I can update the market profile. Market profile here, price is way out of it. So let's take a look at the bigger picture. If we look at the bigger picture here, I mean, price is actually establishing a range on the higher time frames. So on the higher time frames right here, 30-minute price is actually establishing a range right now, which you guys could see. It's a big range, like a huge range. This is from Friday. So this is what I mentioned earlier. Price came down super heavily. The news came out, dropped price down, and then it hit a floor right here and it pushed right back up. So this market profile should be establishing a bigger range once, the 30-minute candle closes. Same with the 1 hour here. If you look on the 1 hour, it's a little cleaner here. Yeah, so it looks like this candle here actually, this 1 hour candle established the entire range, which is kind of crazy. This is a big push. So this candle right here came down super sharply to retest to this lower range. So basically right here, a fake out, retest, and a push back up to this upper range. But the bullish bias that we have is kind of playing out perfect right now. Anyways, we'll see. We got about 2 minutes until this 30-minute candle closes. Price is too bullish right now. It's climbing up right there. Nice. Talanji took the A++ again right there for 25 points. Nice work, Talanji. Ben's asking, can you give some insights on what determines A++ setups? It's a continuation. So the whole point of this here is a continuation of the movement, Ben. So you know how initially right here we had the MPSV2, right? So like the whole reason we came up with the A++ is a continuation of the leg. So right here we have the MPSV2. We had a buy signal, retracement, continuation, right? That was the MPSV2 right there. So every time you get this, and this is from the Kodi Kai reversals indicator. So see how we don't have those symbols on the bottom right here? Once you turn on the Kodi Kai reversals indicator, what these indicate are reversal patterns. So see how price pushes up and then pulls back a little bit. We have an E right here. This is an engulfing candle. So this right here engulfs this one. That's a reversal pattern. So right here, we have a bullish move because we have a buy signal. We have a bullish trend. And then every time you see one of these reversal patterns, right here on the bottom end, this will indicate a continuation to the upside. So see, we have an E right here that's engulfing V1. This is a V1 variation. It means there's a double body or double wick. That means that these are reversal patterns, but wherever you see the pattern or wherever you see the arrow or the symbol right here, this is where the reversal is happening. So again, right here, see how price kind of pushes up a little bit? It retraces with this red candle. And then right after it, we have that symbol that I just mentioned right here. We have a V1 and engulfing, two of them on one candle. So basically what happens here is whenever you see that, that's indicating that price is reversing back to the upside, right? So price pushes up, retracement, reversal pattern pushes up. Price pushes up, retracement, reversal pattern right there, pushes right back up. Same with here. Price pushes up, retracement, reversal pattern, price pushes up. That's what makes it an A++ setup because you already have the direction. So like basically if you're thinking about A+, you're looking at basically, so an A plus would be like momentum, or an A trade would be like you have one confluence momentum. An A plus would be like, okay, momentum plus trend. So now you have an A plus. And then now you have these reversal patterns. That's basically an A plus plus because you're like, okay, momentum, you have one confluence, trend, that's one confluence, price pushes up, retraces, and then you have a reversal pattern. That's what makes it an A plus plus. So I know it's kind of like it's a lot of stuff to like kind of take in and soak in, especially for you, but it's just meant as a confluence, and you're supposed to use it only once. Like for me, this would be the only A++ right here. But what Talanji is doing is because we're in such a directional market, is he's taking pretty much every A++ that comes up. So every time he sees a continuation, he'll take that to the upside. It works the same way in the opposite direction. So for example, here we have a sell signal, prices below the pivots. You see how we have the reversal patterns right here on the top side. So an E right here is pushing down. That indicates that price retraced up, reversal, right? Price retraced up right here, again, reversal. Price pushed up, reversal. Every time this comes up, it gives you an opportunity to get back into this entry. So if you miss the first one, you can get it on the next one, or the third one, or etc. There's just a lot of different opportunities. And this stuff works really good in a directional market, which is what we're in right now. Market's directional, so price is continuing to climb up higher and higher from where it's currently at. For me personally, I'm looking for a sell signal to come up so that I can wait for that retracement and then continuation back up. And that's only because I'm like on the more conservative side of things. It just kind of depends on like who's trading, right? You either want to be conservative, you want to be risky. Some people take all the entries, some people take only a few. Here, let's see. Yes, Alonji said Bloomberg News convinced me. Adam said, which candles are you trading on? Are you asking me, Adam, or are you asking Talanji? I'm trading on regular candlesticks, so I'm not sure if that's your question or because I know there's different types of candlesticks here. There's regular candles, there is Haikanashi. Oh, the A++. Okay. So for me, I would have said the A++ would have been only down here. This is the only one because I only take one per momentum, right? So like per momentum signal right here, there's only going to be one MPSV2 and there's only going to be one A++. For Talanji, he's taken yeah, so Talanji took the 39. So he did take this one, which is the actual A++, and then he took the 55, which is right here. So he took this one right here, and then he also took this one right here, which is the actual A++. Thanks Talanji for confirming that. So those are the two ones that he took right there. This one and that one. Nikki said Trump is supposed to be speaking right now. Okay, good to know. Let me YouTube Trump real quick and see what I can find. Where'd you guys see that Trump was speaking? And I'm always like curious how you guys find this out. Was it on CNBC? I gotta just maybe I'll just search YouTube every day and I'll just kind of look. Okay, let me look him up real quick. Trump live. So I don't see anything with Trump speaking. I mean, I'm sure I just missed it. Uh, Financial Juice. Okay, I see White House Press Secretary Levitt, Chinese producers will be absorbing cost of tariffs. I'm assuming that's where Trump's supposed to be speaking. Um, let's see. So White House Press Secretary Leavitt, there will be a readout after the Trump Putin. Okay, because the Trump Putin call is happening today, right? Got it. Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right, thanks guys for the heads up on that. So Trump is having his call with Putin today, and that's going to cover some stuff. So I think now I could see why this bullish push is happening right now, guys. So I'm looking at financial juice right now. Basically this is the breaking news. It happened at 6:38. It said that Chinese producers will be absorbing the cost of the tariffs. That's great news, right? Because if they're absorbing the cost of the tariffs, then they're not going to be handed down to the US or the consumers. So with that being the case, the good news happened right here at 6:48. You guys don't have to know this stuff, but it's good to have an idea of like what's causing this bullish push, right? Because there's always something that's causing a bullish push here. There's a reason why price goes up like this. And looking at this, so the news came out right here on 6:48 around this big candle time. And it basically was an announcement from the White House that Chinese producers will be absorbing the cost of tariffs. So that's like fuel to the fire, right? Because we were already looking for buys here to begin with. And here you can see price is pushing up higher from where it's currently at. There's another V1 right there. There's no MPS V2, there's no retracement, there's nothing here for me to take, but I'm just here kind of giving you guys an understanding of like why price is pushing up. If you guys want to enter some more buys, there's possibility there. If price does push up higher, target area is going to be this area up here because we have liquidity sitting up here and we have the sessions right there. So I mean, there's no reason for price not to keep pushing up. Price can keep pushing up if it wants to or if it needs to, but we just don't have any. I mean, I don't have any opportunity for entry here. I'm sticking to my trading plan. So if there's nothing here for me to take, I'm obviously not going to force anything. Let's see. Nice, nice. So Rashid over here is actually taking the levels. So levels looks like it pushed up a little bit. So right now is a perfect time for you to take your levels entries, Rashida, because we're in a directional market. Buys, of course, would be the ideal direction. Looking over here at the overall trend. So overall trend here is still super bullish. 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, super, super bullish. 10 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. Everything's bullish right now. The only thing that I would be concerned about is the overextension. And there we go. Price pushed up to that target area that we mentioned. Target area has been reached for the sessions right there. I'm going to take this off, clean that up a little bit. Yeah, so price pushed up. Grab that area right there. Let me take a look at so the volume profile, prices or market profile. Price is way too far out right now. The market profile can't even follow where it's at. If you look over here, the market profile has not been in this area okay. I mean, it's still pretty far out. The point of control, next level point of control is like way up here. It's at the 900 price. So 42,900 is the next level of market profile. The 1 hour over here price still pretty high. Yeah, we don't really got too much over here. It looks like the range might be established here. So like earlier, you guys can see I marked up that range from this point. It looks like it's starting to hit a ceiling now. You can see it on the 30 minute. You could also see it here or you can see on the 1 hour. You can also see it here on the 30 minute. Price starting to hit a ceiling here for a double top. So maybe it'll be due for retracement soon. I mean, price is so far out. If you look over here, this is the 1 minute market profile. This thing is due for retracement. It's way too far out at this point. It's up almost 400 points. It's not a bad thing. We want price to be bullish, but I mean, this thing is so far out right now. Might be time for it to retrace back at least a little bit. Let's see. Daniel said his trading view is straight frozen. That was a little few minutes ago. Did it update, Daniel? I know the candles kind of slowed down around that time. So like right there when you mentioned at 7:03, the candles here kind of slowed down a bit. And then we had that big, big bullish push right there with that big green candle. Hey Lila, morning. Talon said he's done with A plus plus unless he sees a good fair value gap. Yeah, I think price is way super overextended at this point. So I'd be careful with any more entries here. Um, you know, to the upside. I mean, it's due for price to come down. So any more A plus pluses might be a little tricky, I guess. Uh, let's see. So Rashida said NQ just left the gap on the 1 minute and she lost connection. Yeah, it's tricky right now, guys. If you guys are looking to take entries at this point, I would say just be careful. I mean, only take an entry if you feel super, super confident. If you know like 100% that if you're 100% confident that it's going to work out or it's going to play through, then okay, great. But I think right here we're kind of at a point where price is overextended. It's due for retracement, does it? But it doesn't necessarily need to retrace. So that's like something to just be aware of. So price here is retracing, doesn't need to retrace, but uh, for me personally, I would need that retracement before I look for entry. The thing with this retracement is I want it to retrace down pretty hard. Like I want it to come down here because if it only retraces, like if it doesn't even retrace and stays up here, we're gonna have a problem because I'm gonna be stuck at the sessions right here. So ideally, I'd like to see a nice pullback. The market profile is not even being useful to us right now. The thing with the market profile that these bounce points are really good during sideways markets, right? So like last week, it would have been super useful if I was marking up these zones and these areas for bounce points. But now that we're back in this directional market, they're not really as useful as they would be previously. Like now it's kind of okay to just take the directional moves for the MPS V2s without, all that noise. Let's see if we have some breaking news here yet. Let's see. So this is kind of important because we do have the rate cuts coming up soon, in June probably. So it says Fed Bostic. I never knew what Fed Bostic looked like. Now I do. So Fed Bostic says he's leaning towards one rate cut this year, which I can see. It's probably going to happen sometime in the summer. Yeah, so quarter point reduction in 2025. It's probably going to happen maybe July, August, probably not next month. Depends. Yeah, so the tariff picture has changed several times since Trump took office. Yeah. So basically it's reiterating what we've been talking about, right? Like every 90 days there's going to be a change in the tariff stuff. Right now, because the White House is announcing that China is agreeing to eat the cost of tariffs, um, this shows that we're probably getting closer to some sort of agreement with China because they wouldn't agree to something like this unless like it's not going to last for very long. So I'm thinking within a month's time, China is going to establish some sort of agreement with the US regarding the tariffs. And that's good because if we have that type of agreement, then we can probably see interest rate cuts by um, probably by June, July, maybe August. I think it's going to happen in the summer though, because rate cuts don't typically happen in the winter, at least not in December. Market's kind of slowed down a little bit. It's got me kind of drowsy. So we have a sell signal here that's pending, guys. The sell signal has been trying to close for a while now. We've been looking for the sell signal since up here. This just indicates that price is starting to make its way back down further. Like I said earlier, here on the 30-minute and the 1 hour time frame, you can see that price is starting to establish some sort of ceiling here. Looks like a bit of a liquidity grab may have happened at this area up here. Now it's coming back down. Markup liquidity right there. Markup liquidity right here. There's no levels around this area, so I'm not really looking for any of these what we would call or consider liquidity grabs at this point because there's just no levels here to really look at. See, I'll move this value high to 620. Okay, so I could see a liquidity grab possibly happening down here, guys. Yeah, so I mean, if price comes down any lower, if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But if price does come down any lower, I could see a liquidity grab possibly happening down here. Push back up from that point. Like I said earlier, guys, I was hoping to see a retracement, then continuation. The problem with this here is, like I said, I wanted price to pull back a lot lower, right, to down here. Because now that we're in this area up here, this is going to be an issue because if we get an MPSV2 right here, it's going to be right at the sessions. So that's going to be a red flag for me. I'm not going to want to take a trade right there, right? We'll keep waiting. I always remind you guys this, like the real skill in trading is not identifying entries to get in. The real skill in trading is identifying entries to avoid and to sit out. This is something that I'm looking to avoid and sit out right here. Because it's easy to hit buy or sell, right? It's easy. You can take any buy or sell, you can get lucky, let that trade hit, and you won't even know what you did right or what you did wrong. But being able to sit out of a trade and avoiding a loss is really where the skill comes in because that's pure risk management at that point, right? I know a lot of people throw around the term risk management. Risk management isn't always based on like what contract size you're using or what your TP stop loss is. Risk management is understanding when to sit out and when to play. Right now, this seems like a time for me to sit out. For one, the direction here is kind of slow. You can see we're starting to get a consolidation around this area. For two, the ATR is starting to slow down. So I'm looking at a lot of things here. There's a lot of things to look at in the market. I know, you don't want to overcomplicate things, but things that I look at a lot is market structure. So for example, here, the market structure is in consolidation mode, right? That's one thing. The second thing is if it goes in consolidation mode and the ATR starts to drop lower, so you can see right here, it went from 26 to 23, this is usually indicating that price is going to stay in consolidation. One thing that you want to look for is if you start to see consolidation, but if you start to see the ATR pick up, so for example, right now it's at 24, right? If this thing jumps to like 26, maybe 26, 27, 28, around there, in that situation, you're like, okay, this is starting to prepare for a breakout. So when I see something like that, then I'm like, okay, now I start to feel comfortable and I'm like, all right, we're probably going to get a breakout soon. We don't have that yet, right? I'm gonna keep looking at the ATR down here. If you guys aren't paying attention to it, it's down here. I'm going to keep looking at it. We're in consolidation right here. If I see the ATR pick up, I'm like, all right, start preparing for that breakout because that breakout's probably going to happen pretty soon. Yeah, exactly. So Brock said, patience, looking for a green momentum. Yeah, Solange said this might be the new range. I see fair value gap entries that hit. Yeah, I can see it too. So I'm looking at the ATR down here, looking to see if it picks back up. ATR is at 23. All right, ATR is at 23. Buy signal still hasn't came up. Still nothing here, guys. ATR is currently at 23. Like I said, wait for that ATR and identify the ATR when it starts to pick up. When it starts to pick up, the breakout's gonna, ideally it'll start to push up higher. Right now, it's just kind of flat. Let's see. Christian said, "What do you think about the MPSV2 to the downside if we get one?" So my bias for today is bullish, or for right now, at least, Christian. So I'm not really looking for sells here at the moment. Um, I mean, it kind of depends. I'm not fully away from sells, but with the way that the market's currently moving right here, ideally I want to be on the breakout side, which I think the breakouts can be to the upside. So, um, I mean, yeah, if it comes up, it comes up, but for right now, I'm not looking for any sells. So just to make things clear, right? Yeah, Brock said, for me, I'd love to see a green momentum first because it's stalled a lot before confirming criteria. Exactly. So like what I'm doing exactly what Brock is mentioning. So I would be okay with sells, but I want to see that buy signal come up first because it's pretty much stalled right here, right? So if it's stalled right here and we get that momentum pickup, then I think the momentum's gonna break out to the upside, right? So in the opposite sense, if we get a buy signal here, so say for example, price goes back and forth, we get a buy signal, it doesn't actually push up and then it comes back down, then in that situation, I would maybe be looking for a sell. But the ATR right now is super low, so I'm waiting for this to pick up. It's currently a 21 ATR. Guys, I think we're in the summer market now. So if the market stays this way, we're probably entering the summer market. But the thing is, I don't think it's not gonna stay slow like this because we have a lot of stuff coming up, right? We have the tariff news of China coming up. We have the uh, Trump and Putin speaking coming up about the ceasefire. Here's the thing with the ceasefire with Russia, guys. Like Russia has a lot of bargaining power because they're winning the war. Obviously, you guys know that's happening. They're winning the war. Um, Ukraine doesn't really have much to they don't have much bargaining power, right? They're losing the war. Like they want the war to stop. We want the war to stop. Um, so I mean, it's gonna have to take a lot for Putin to really to agree to something with Trump. So I mean, we'll see. I'm not really expecting anything to come out of this meeting. They might have small talk. They might agree to something, behind the closed doors. But I think that's really what's happening here. The markets here is pretty flat because they're waiting for a lot of this stuff to happen. Like they're waiting for Trump to make a statement. There is, let's see, no updates here. Yeah, so Trump was supposed to speak. Well, he's on the phone call with Putin right now. I'm assuming it's 7:23. So Putin's phone call with Trump is right now. It's happening right now. They're probably gonna be on the phone for like maybe another 30 minutes or so. That's where you want to be careful. Okay, so now that I can confirm that Trump is on the phone with Putin right now, I can see why the market's flat. The market is pretty much flat because I think a lot of people are just waiting for not just people, but institutions in general, like everyone who's trading right now, people are just waiting for Trump to say something. And then once he says something, it'll uh it'll shake up the market here. Yeah, did you get in right there, Christian? So the sell MPSB2 did come up right there. So we'll follow with you. The ATR is just really low right now. Okay. Yeah, he's not in it. So Christian didn't get into it. I'll follow it with you guys here and we'll kind of see where it goes. I don't think anything's going to happen here. Like after looking at the news or like what's happening right now, I think a lot of people are just going to wait for Trump to be done speaking with Putin. I already know Trump's going to have something crazy to say, right? I know Trump's going to say something good. It doesn't matter what they said on the phone. Trump's going to say, "Oh, we had a good conversation. We're coming closer to some sort of agreement." And the headlines that Trump always mentions. Like we had a really, really, really good talk, and we're coming close to some sort of agreement. I think that's exactly what he's going to say. No details. It's just Trump being Trump. because Trump's never said anything bad. You guys have to like be aware of that. Like Trump's never said anything bad. Doesn't matter how the meeting goes. Like before, Trump mentioned that China agreed to tariff negotiations, and then the market shot up. If you guys remember that, so like last month, Trump basically he said that he negotiated with China, and then price skyrocketed like 100 points or 1,000 points, and then like 5 minutes later, China was like, we never agreed to anything, and then price came right back down. So if anything here, I would see Trump pushing price up after he's done on that phone call with Putin. Price here might just kind of dwindle down a little bit, and then Trump will say something, it'll spike up, and then it'll come back down. Everything is news driven this year, guys. So if you guys have been trading with me for a while, or if you guys have just been trading in general, you guys know that the market has been very news driven. Um, Pretty much whenever Trump announces anything, or if the White House announces anything, the market reacts to it. It's more news driven through headlines versus, and then right here, let's see. So China vows to take measure if the US insists on going its own way. See, this is like, it's crazy. It's like they just agreed to something with China, and then now China's like, nah. And then here we go, its price starts to come down. It's it's a circus, guys. It's a circus that we're currently in right now. It's and then we'll see if price continues to drop from here. And then that MPSV2 just hit. So if you guys took that MPSV2 right there that Christian was looking for, looks like it already hit TP, 30 points. You just got to be careful, guys. I mean, like I said earlier, I said this entry here is probably going to push down a little bit. I'm looking for like actual key areas to see the bounces. So for me personally, I'm looking for price to come down and then grab liquidity right here and then come right back up. So, I mean, this is an area where I'm okay with trading at. I'm okay with like looking for price to come down here and then bounce off this point. I don't want to trade out in the open like this area over here right now. The ATR still hasn't really picked up very much. It's currently at 21. Yeah, Daniel said, I don't believe that China is going to eat the tariffs either. A lot of their products are so cheap. No way they're going to eat 30%. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Daniel, 100%. That's why when I saw the breaking news over here that the White House press secretary Levitt was like Chinese producers will absorb the cost of tariffs. I was like, this doesn't make sense. There's no way they would agree to that. And then all of a sudden China said, nope, like there's no agreement there. So we'll see. Again, I'm looking for this to come down. So I'm gonna be looking at the ATR down here. I'm watching to see if it picks up. But yeah, I'm looking for a bounce at this area right here down below. We have an engulfing candle right here. Yeah, so Barack actually changed his bias to bearish. Barack said, I think we had a retracement around 42,724. Okay. So Barack's looking for price to retrace up a little bit. So if you guys took any of the entries for today, I mean, the entries are hitting. It's just, I'm obviously being on the more conservative side. The ATR is picking up a little bit. It was at 21. Now it's at 22. Um, yeah, I'm just a little more on the conservative side right now, guys. We have a possible MPSV2 here for a buy. I would possibly look for opportunity for entry here if I do get an opportunity to enter. The ATR is picking back up. We're at 23 ATR. So I'm starting to see some volatility here start to pick up a little bit. I'm gonna be watching this here as it closes. We got about 10 seconds left on this candle here. So I'm just going to see if this momentum here closes. If it does, great. I'll be looking for opportunity here. All right, we do have some possible opportunity here for MPSV2 for a buy. I don't know if this will hold. It's pushing back down kind of hard right here. So you do have a buy signal here. We get that push up, retracement, continuation up higher. This could be a possible MPSV2 entry for a buy setting up. So what I see right here is I see a possible fake out from this area of liquidity. Talon, you said Brock's using big words. Gotta Google that one. Inducement. Yeah, I mean basically, so like what basically what Brock is saying is that it's luring in buyers here. All right, this is a possible MPSV2, guys. If the candle closes above this blue line right here, this is a possible MPSV2 for a buy. I'll be watching the price action on this candle. I mean, the buys here still look like they can play out. They look pretty decent. So I'm going to see here what it looks like as price continues to climb up higher. Um, the only issues here are like, like I said, we're kind of hitting a ceiling right here, but price can push up a little bit higher from that point. Um, so Brock's asking if I'm gonna enter this position. I was thinking about maybe entering it, but the price action here is not looking super great. I want to see some strong bullish push right here, some strong bullish movement. And then I'll possibly, like, it's not going to happen on this candle, of course. I'm watching the price action here. Yeah, CJ said I don't like how the green pivot is bouncing off the orange pivot. Yeah, I agree. It's starting to shift there a little bit, right? Because this green and blue pivot are leading. So like if they're starting to cut right here below the pivots, this is going to indicate that okay, price is maybe shifting to the downside. This might start to be the top here, and price might start to come down from this point. No, I don't like the price action here, Brock. I'm not going to take it. So I was hoping to see the ATR go a little higher. It was currently at 22 and pushing up to 23. If the ATR is pushing up any higher, like maybe closer to 24, 25, I would have been a little more inclined to take the buy here because I would have been like, okay, if the volatility is picking up, I'm expecting this to maybe climb up enough to hit my TP, right? The problem with this here is it's probably not going to push up that high. We'll keep watching it though. I'm not completely done with taking a buy here yet. Ideally, I would have wanted it to come down lower. So what I wanted to see here is I wanted to see price come down and then bounce off this area, grab liquidity, and then push back up. So it looks like the MPS V2 might start to set up right here. Again, the price action here is not super great. So like this here might close right at the dot. The ATR is currently at 21. I don't really like the price action on this right here, guys. Yeah, the price, I don't like the wick on top, so I'm probably gonna hold off on this. I'm gonna hold off on this one. If you guys want to take it, I'll follow it with you guys. So entry is happening right there. Yeah, it's just the ATR is like not really moving too much. If we were at 23 ATR, I would have possibly got into this one right here. Yeah, Brock skipped it. Talanji also skipped it. See, the thing with this is where I would have been concerned with is that we would have been stuck in a range right here. Because that's what it looked like. It was like this is what it looks like it's currently setting up right now. It's setting up for a range, which I don't want to be trading in a range. Looks like it's about to hit CP right there too. So if you guys took it, let's see, almost. If you guys went, you probably would have went for something smaller, maybe a 25-25 instead of a 30-30 because of the ATR. So the good thing here is that the entries are hitting, guys. I mean, that's the biggest plus out of this. I'm not taking the entries, but the entries are hitting. So this shows you that, strategy is working fine. It's just you got to be able to nitpick the good from the bad. And it's just a good feeler day today. I think Monday's a good feeler day to identify, how the market's moving. If it keeps moving like this, then great, we're in for a good week, right? Looks like 30 points to actually hit. Yeah. So nice. Looks like Rev got it and Sam got it. Nice work, guys. This is what I was looking for, though, right? So, like I mentioned, my bias for today was a buy. I was looking for a buy here because everything's bullish. 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 10 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. Everything's bullish. So, everything here did kind of play as planned. The only thing here that I mean was kind of like turning me off to the entry was the low ATR, and then also that we were starting to establish a range here. Either way, the buys are what I was looking for to begin with. I wasn't really looking for sells today, but the sells have been hitting. So like everything's been hitting. The buys hit over here. So MPSV2 A plus plus, and then sell MPSV2 right here hit, and then also another buy MPSV2. So the market here is moving, and it's hitting. So stuff's here is still playing through. So that's good to see. I'm glad the market is hitting. Again, today's Monday, so there's no need to force any trades. I try to remind you guys this every week. Last week I closed out the week technically in profit because we took two trades on Friday. They both hit TP. I took one loss on Monday. So technically we were in profit last week. For my actual profits, I was more so on the break even side because the second trade wasn't copied across my accounts. But yeah, I mean that's just kind of how it is right now. So we'll continue to follow along with the entries here, and we'll hopefully we'll find another one. It's 7:37 right now, so I'm not sure if we're going to get another opportunity for entry here, which is completely fine. But we'll keep looking for opportunities here to get in. As long as you guys understand that, you have a whole week ahead of you to take entries, there's no need to force any trades here. Even though the trades are hitting, it's, if your trade psychology is not there, there's no need to force anything. Man, so much for the market profile, right? I was hoping the market profile would be of use to us. It hasn't really been of use to us this week. It would have been super useful last week if I started using it earlier in the week. Like to Brock's asking, would you consider A plus plus if it engulfs the current candle? It's a little tricky. So this would be an A plus plus. The only problem here is that it's going to have to push up past the sessions right there, Barack. So yeah, no, I would consider this an A plus plus. The only problem here is that again, unless you want to go for a smaller target, which you probably should anyways, ATR is currently at 21. Ideally, I'd like to see how this candle closes. I think it's going to close. If it closes good, like what we're looking for. So if it closes as a strong, nice green candle, it's still going to have trouble getting past the the sessions right there. So yeah, this is an A plus plus setup right here for an engulfing candle. If you guys are looking to take it. All right. Not in the position. I'm just following it right here. I'm just kind of going off, Brock's analysis. I just don't like the low volatility right now. Yeah, Brock said liquidity up top is mouth-watering. Um, Shivam said prefer a sell to be honest. Yeah, so here I'll take this off. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. So the main reason why I wouldn't be really too thrilled to take this entry here, Brock, is because the range that we're currently in, right? So there's two things here that kind of concern me. For one, we're stuck within this range. That's like one of the main things right now, right? We're stuck within the range. That's one. Number two is the ATR is pretty low. So I'm not really expecting much to happen here, right? I'm expecting a slow move. So although like the engulfing here or the A plus plus will probably play out, there's just too many factors here that will cause me to second guess my position. So I don't like second guessing my position. I like taking a position and just being absolutely sure it's going to hit. With this right here, I have to worry about price having enough volatility to actually get out of this range. And then even when it gets out of this range, I would be kind of worried if it'll even reach this upper area right here. But the liquidity that you were talking about right here, liquidity was good though. It was a good target for it to push up higher. Like if anything, I'll see it grab liquidity here and maybe pull back into the range. But since our target would have been way up here, this is where I would have been more concerned. Just like this upper level right here to reach my TP. Nice. Yeah, so Sam actually got in right there. He only went in for 15 points. He went into liquidity and he pulled out. So nice work right there, Sam, on catching that. Brock too. So Brock also caught that. Solid work, guys. All right. So again, right here, price did grab the liquidity that we talked about. I would have been okay with this. So like this would have been okay. The my only concern again is going to be up here. Is price going to have enough volatility to push past this liquidity and reach this area up here where our TP would have been sitting? Right? It just kind of depends on where you want to place your TP stop loss. If you wanted to a 30-30, great. The only problem is price going to go that far. If you wanted to do a 25-25, again, great, price would hit liquidity, but is it enough to push past it and get to that TP? If you just reach for liquidity there, I think that'd be probably your perfect target. 17 points. That would have hit. But other than that, looks like price here is going to be kind of stuck within this range. Yeah, Brock's a tight stop because of volatility. Sam said it'll blast, but not taking the risk. May go for a break and retest. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing too. So this is more of a break and retest type market, guys. This is not really much of a liquidity grab type market. It's more of a break and retest type market because we're not really in a range. That's like the main thing I feel like, depending on the type of market conditions that we're in, um, those are the two things to really look at. It's like, okay, are we in a directional market? Because if we're in a directional market, break and retest probably going to be the opportunities. If we are in a sideways market, then we're probably going to be looking for liquidity grabs as confluences, of course. Yeah, Talanji said, loving the group analysis, man, learning so much. Yeah, and it's good to see like, analysis from other sides, right? For me, I'm traditionally a directional trader, so I don't even look at the sideways market or the sideways move. But sometimes you just have to look at it. So there we go. Price is now in the sideways market. So instead of looking for those break and retest, we're now looking for what we consider liquidity grabs, right? Liquidity grab, etc. You just got to keep an open mind. I feel like with a lot of people, they're too focused on like one type of trading and they just like kind of zone out everything else, which is good. But when the market's kind of all over the place, you have to make an attempt to adapt, or not even adapt, just at least understand what's going on and what's happening behind the scenes. All right, we don't got much happening here. Same thing that we were talking about earlier. So we got the sell signal here. We have a possible MPSV2 starting to set up here for a sell. The only problem here, though, is I'm not really looking for a sell. So, I mean, it's right there, but it's not necessarily setting it up. Now we got price pushing back up. Ideally, I'd be looking for buys, of course. Let's see, 7:45. We got 15 minutes till 8 o'clock. Today so far, we've had about 4 entries come over here, guys. We had MPSV2, A++, MPSV2, MPSV2. We have an MPSV2 setting up here for a sell. This thing barely, it came down at the last second. So this candle was actually up here and it came down at the last second right below. So this is an MPSV2 currently running for a sell to the downside. I'm not sure if anybody is looking to take this. I wasn't even expecting this to come down because this candle was up here just, 2 seconds ago. The thing is, the ATR is pretty low, so you might want to go for a smaller target. I think 30 might be kind of hectic, but if you guys want to go for 20, I think 20 will probably hit. Laundry's in it. CJ's in it for 20. Volatility is just a little low. See, we're stuck in this consolidation range. I don't really like trading in the range like this unless like I have some sort of bias. Like if the time frames over here were all bearish, then I would have been okay with taking the sell there, but everything here is still pretty bullish. This doesn't mean that price can't retrace down though. Obviously it's due for retracement anyways. But looking at the 4 hour here, 1 hour, 3 minute, everything's bullish. 10 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, everything's bullish. Um, Again, I'm not in this position. Ideally, I'd want it to hit though. So I'm on your side, guys. I'm not going to fade your trade. I'm going to keep analyzing here for a possible sell. Let's see. So here, there's a couple good things here though. Price is currently at this upper range on the 30-minute time frame. So let's see if it bounces off here and continues down lower. Same with the 1 hour here. Price is currently at that upper range. The only problem here, so here's a problem that I'm coming up with, right? It's the volatility is too low. So, and it's not getting any higher. So if the volatility got higher and it was like, closer to 22, 23, 24, then I would have been okay because if that's the case, then we might see some volatility spike to the downside. And we probably still might see it, but because the ATR is so low, I would expect this to just go sideways for the most part, rather than pushing too heavy in one direction. Yeah, Brock said it's too spiky. I'm not in on it, but I want it to hit. Yeah, same here. So it looks like it's on its way down further, guys. So we'll keep following in here. Like I said, the ATR is currently at 20, so 20 might be the move for you guys here. For you guys who are in it. CJ's in for 20. Come on, let's get that little push right there. I keep looking at the ATR right here. So CJ said currently trailing it. Okay, so CJ's stop loss is in profit. If you guys do want to move your stop loss in profit, I'd probably move it right here to the 700. So if you guys want to go for the 20 or go for the full 30, I would move your stop loss right there to the 42,700. It's almost at the 20 full TP for 20. If you guys are going for that 30, I mean, 30 is a far push, guys. It's a pretty long push, but it could probably still hit. So yeah, the 20 is right there. If you want to keep following it, I mean, feel free to keep following it. Looks like a lot of people here got it for 20. Sam got it for 20. Adam got it for 20. CJ got it for 20. Talanji got it for 20. Nice work, guys. So you guys can see here the strategies are working perfectly fine. It's just it's up to your risk tolerance, right? For me, I don't have high risk tolerance. I don't like losing trades. So like for me, I'm like looking for those perfect entries. But again, right there, this is why it's okay trading within the range, right? So like I said before, I don't like trading up here because I might get caught in the fake out. I don't like trading down here because I might get caught in the fake out. This right here is perfect. So every trade hit today, guys, 5 trades back to back, full TPs for anybody who took any of these trades here. MPSV2, A++, MPSV2, MPSV2, MPSV2. And there's also an A++ that's running right here, right after. So another one right there too. A lot of entries today. So this is good. I'm glad that we're seeing all of these winners hit today because now we have an idea of like what this week will probably look like. I think this week's going to be more of a directional market. Hopefully, we're not going to get too much of any craziness here. Yeah, so Trump's call with Putin started a little later. It started at 7:34, 7:35. So it happened about like maybe 10, 20 minutes ago. Yeah, pretty solid. Yeah, Brock said notice a double top at 42,750. That's why I opted out. Just took one today, got 11 points. What a day. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to see everything here is hitting. I didn't even take anything today, but I'm glad everything here is hitting. And a lot of you guys here took trades. For me, there's just a lot more risk involved because I'm trading so many accounts. I have to be very selective about what I'm taking. But yeah, I'm glad everything here pretty much hit for the most part. It's looking great, guys. So this is what I talked about last week. You know, you have to be able to know when to conserve your capital and you have to know when it's time to trade. And today was pretty good. A lot of you guys hopped in trades here, followed my analysis, played out perfect. We got price pushing back up. Again, I wouldn't really want to trade at these upper ranges, guys. So we might have an MPSV2 set up here for a buy. The ATR is back to 21, so the ATR is back up a little bit. Um, I would just be a little wary about, obviously the market volatility here. Keep that up right there. Yeah, CJ said another reason I took the trade is because of V1 high-low momentum. Okay, so yeah, the sell right here. So the sell came below here, and this is did you mention this, CJ? I think you're the one that mentioned this, right? Where if you see the confluence here with the high-low momentum scalp, basically you see a momentum breaking close past pivots 1 and 2, it hits. So I know a couple people mentioned that, and it actually looks pretty true. So looking over here, we had a high-low momentum scalp that came up, it retraced up, and the MPSV2 here hit. Same with this one. We had a high level momentum scalp that came up right here. Then it retraced and it came back up right there, full TP. Again, with this right here, high level momentum scalp, came back down, full TP right there. So that's going to be a good confluence to look at, guys. So if that's the case, this MPSV2 here might play out too. If we do get a buy entry here for MPSV2, there's a high level momentum scalp, this buy signal broken close past pivots 1 and 2. So if this here ends up climbing back up to this point, this could be an entry for a MPSV2 for a buy to the upside. Possible setup if it comes back up. Yeah, Sam said 42,750 equal highs. Good liquidity for him. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, double top right there. I mean, this whole upper range, right? All right, we got about 6 minutes until 8 o'clock, guys. Volatility here is starting to slow down a little bit, so we'll see if anything here happens. If nothing happens, and probably wrap this up soon. 7:55, actually, 5 minutes till 8. I think the market might stay a little flat at this point. We have a sell signal coming up right here. I think price will just sit within this range. There's not really too much going on. It's no surprise. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock, so the volatility here tends to, pretty much die down and get flat anyways. Send this out real quick. So we'll see. I mean, we'll keep watching here, but like I said, I think this here will probably just stay pretty flat for the most part. Sell signal hasn't closed yet, but it's trying to close. All right, so the sell signal right there closed. I think I might be done for the day, guys. Now that the sell signal is closed, I'm not expecting price to push up. Ideally, I was looking for price to push back up to this point here and then look for opportunity for entry for a buy. But now that we have a sell signal here, I'm not really expecting too much because we're currently at this lower range. And even if we do get an entry here for a sell, it's probably going to bounce off the range, right? And we don't really want to be caught in something like that. So yeah, if there's any questions you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. It's 7:56 right now, so it's pretty close to 8 o'clock. I'm gonna take a screenshot of all the entries for today so that you guys can have documentation of this. So basically 5 back-to-back full TPs here for our live session. It's pretty good. 5 back-to-back. Yes, V2. Yeah, so if you guys want to go back and look at this, pretty nice entries for today. So I'm expecting the market to keep moving directional this week. I'm hoping that's the case. I mean, it's pretty good. We had two entries right here, MPSV2, A++, then MPSV2, 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 and then another A++. So it's about 6 entries actually. So 6 back-to-back full TPs. And a lot of you guys took these entries too, so that's pretty solid. Yeah, I'd be careful here taking sells, guys. Like I said, price is currently within the range. If you're going to trade within this range, I would trade within the range, right? In the middle. I wouldn't really trade at the lower end or the upper end because that's where it's going to be easy for you to get caught up on the wrong side of the market. Yeah, exactly. Brock said patience, 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 Brock. Hurry. Hurry has no blessings. Exactly. Shivam said feeling ceasefire will be agreed after today's call and then a bullish push this week. I could see that. CJ said I'm done for the day too. Going to take my profits and run. I do the same thing. Shivam's done for the day. CJ said today was pretty good for a news-filled Monday. Yeah, I agree. So again, guys, if you guys are looking to take entries here, I'd be careful for some sells because I don't really want to trade within this middle area or this lower area here. I'd probably look for price to bounce off this lower range, push back up, and then possibly a buy entry down the middle here. But all right, guys, about to be 8 o'clock. This is my cutoff for trading. The ATR is down to 18, so you're expecting a slow volatility from here. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I think this is a good time to wrap it up and then come back tomorrow fresh. So if you guys want to keep trading, volatility is probably going to be slow for the next 2 hours. And then maybe around like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, volatility should pick up at least a little bit. But from what I've noticed over the past couple weeks is that the ATR doesn't really pick up. After 8 o'clock, it just stays flat, or it doesn't stay flat market-wise, but the ATR does stay pretty low for the rest of the day. So, all right, guys, looks like we're entering a summer market, which is perfectly fine. We can still trade summer markets. You just got to be a little more cautious with entries, and you have to be able to take your entries earlier in the session. So. All right, I think that's it. CJ said, "Hey Sean, do we have any mentoring sessions this week?" I don't believe so. I have a busy week this week, so I don't think I'm hosting any mentoring sessions. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But for the most part, I think it's we're pretty much we're pretty much open for this week. So I'll let you know if we do, but we don't have anything scheduled at this moment. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys.